So morning yogis, just relaxing into whatever position you want to start with this yin practice. Relaxing in either lying down or seated. And we always take these few moments just to get a little bit quiet and tune in and become aware of our breath. As you breathe, really noticing where your breath naturally goes, if it's to the belly or if it's quite shallow in the chest. Feeling the rib cage expand and contract. And checking in with how you're feeling. How are you feeling today in this moment? Can you put a word to it or a few words? And however that feeling is, just let it move through you, sit with you. Our emotions are always fluid and changing. Have a moment to ground your energies. Always a lovely thing to do before you begin a practice, whether it's hatha or yin, any kind of yoga, or just something to do at the beginning of your day. Just ground yourself down into Mother Earth. And scan through your body, noticing whatever you're feeling physically, and just being very gentle if you need to nurture a specific area. And then when you're ready, those of you lying down, if you want to just gently begin to hug the knees in, and in time just come up to seated. If you're already seated and you just want to gently move and make sure that you're comfortable, we'll come into Zazen for quiet meditation. So today we're just going to simply follow the breath. The mind is naturally going to wander off into all sorts of thoughts perhaps. But when you catch yourself doing it, just come back to the feeling of the breath in the body and the whole mechanics of breathing. Without a mantra, without any other kind of guidance to follow, this can sometimes be quite difficult because the mind will be thinking of something and then you'll catch yourself doing it. But it's a nice practice just to be quiet and just sit with yourself and notice what's going on in this whole moment of just being you. So I'll put the time on for 5 minutes and we're just going to follow the breath and come back to it whenever we wander off. Just relax. Stay with your breath. Staying with your breath. And just gently coming back. Allowing your eyes to blink open. And noticing how that whole practice felt, whether your mind was quite busy, whether you had to keep drawing yourself back to your breath, whether you could be aware of your breath as well as a thought come in and be conscious of that as well. So lots of different sort of variations on just sitting and being with yourself. Let's come into butterfly. A nice, gentle first pose for our practice today. Supporting under your legs and thighs if you need to. Let's just soften into this. And carrying on what we've done with the meditation. Staying with the breath. Relaxing your shoulders and your head and neck. And just enjoying this time, being in your body, fully conscious of what you're feeling.
Bringing the breath to your belly. Seeing if you can relax your facial muscles as well. Keep checking in through your shoulders. What do you notice through your hips? Just checking in to see if there's any tension in your calf muscles or thighs. Keep relaxing the back. Soft belly breaths. And just feeling the breath move in your body. And we'll take one more breath here. Gently come up, nice and slowly as we lift our bodies, coming out of this forward fold of the spine. And just noticing what we're feeling around our hips. And coming into a nice neutral spine now. So really relaxing here. Take the arms a little bit further away from the body if that allows the upper arms to release. And just notice what you're holding through the back of your body. If there's tension holding around the waist and lower back, just let go. And again, just follow the breath in the belly. Noticing whatever you're feeling. And when you're ready, just draw your right knee and then left knee in. Have a moment just to ease that lower spine. Little rocks or rolls. And now to counterpose that forward fold, we're going to come into seal. So taking our spine in the opposite direction now. And using whatever props that you want. Today I'm making this quite a nice soft practice. So a nice little pillow under the belly and chest and a block for the head. Just allow it, basically we're just taking the lumbar spine in the opposite direction. Try and relax your legs. As you relax, your heels may sort of fold into the centre. And softening through buttocks and lower back. If this on your elbows is too high, just take the elbows a little bit further out to the side and lower yourself to a point where your lower spine is more comfortable. And keep relaxing, keep looking through your body. You might be tense in your forearms to the wrists, seeing if you can relax the hands. And then focus your awareness on the breath, and the movement in the belly and lower back. Relaxing your shoulders and your buttocks. You might want to change the shape of your block to a lower level. How do you feel here? Breathing into your belly. And to feel the movement of the breath move into the chest and back. And observing your thoughts. Keep checking through for anything else you can release. And let's take one more deep breath here. Noticing how the sensation in our body has changed in those 5 minutes. And gently finding neutral pose again. And enjoying the difference that we felt from butterfly, and now the difference from seal, where the spine has just flexed in both directions. Nice deep breaths into the belly, really feeling what's going on there. Noticing your thoughts as you lie here, just a few moments while we just process the physical feelings. And then hugging in. Again, just take a nice little massage on your spine. And coming up for Gazelle. So I've chosen this one today because with Butterfly, we've taken the hip in this direction. And so we're going to rotate this leg. So extend your left leg, and then if you can, rotate your right leg so that it's like you're sort of jumping over a hurdle, that kind of shape that we're making. And wherever you're comfortable, your knee may be quite lifted, or it might be in line with the hip, or you might extend it a lot further back, whatever feels right for you, but just sort of rotating that hip joint in the opposite direction from Butterfly now. And just lean into your hands, just rest your hands wherever you're comfortable. And the idea is to, as always, just to sit with this pose and explore what comes out of it today, physically and mentally and emotionally. Start with relaxing. Close your eyes maybe and tune in more deeply to what you're feeling. A lovely stretch on the top of your right thigh, the quad muscle here. Just be observant of the right knee in this rotation. If it is uncomfortable, please come out. And if you need to lean more to the left to alleviate anything around the hip as well, just whatever is comfortable for you. And breathing, nice soft belly breaths. Can you relax both your legs? Is there still a very mild tension through the back of your left leg perhaps? Through the right leg? And if you're noticing sensation around the hip and outer edge of the body, this is gallbladder channel being stimulated. And being just about still in autumn, the elements of metal, lung and large intestine. The emotion with this season is grief, sadness. Keep trying to relax the buttocks, perhaps, through this right hip. And we'll take one breath and gently perhaps leaning to your left as you then swing your right leg round to the front, nice and slowly. Just really observe how it feels to come out of that position with the hip joint. Come into neutral pose. Again, also noticing your knee. Not a usual position we would put our hip in. So just observe how strange the after effect feels, perhaps, coming out of that pose. Nice deep breaths. Quite often in yoga we are in a seated position with our legs crossed in the opposite direction or in a way like butterfly. So it is now and then nice to just rotate our joints in a position we don't normally get into. So as that all fades, let's draw our knees in. Have a gentle rock. And in your own time, just rolling up. We're going to come into the other side. Right leg is extended, left leg is swung behind. And just take a few moments to, come into this pose. You might find that it feels very different. For me, the way the hips are set, both sides of myself, I'm leaning a lot more into my right arm. It's through doing these poses, the same both sides, that we can really notice ever so subtle differences in the structural, skeletal part of ourselves, how we may be just ever so slightly different from one side to the other. More mobile one side and a bit more resistance another, perhaps. So again, let's just try and relax into this. As say, get into a position where the knee and your hip are fairly comfortable. Starting to relax through both legs.
If at any point there is pain or a real discomfort that is building in any of your joints, please come out. And maybe if your eyes are closed, you can just tune into this more deeply. Can you relax a bit more in your belly? Is there a tightness in your abdomen? Or the buttocks and lower back? And following your breath, being conscious of each inhale and exhale. Notice if you like this pose. It could be one of those poses that you come into initially and really dislike, but then as you sit for the 5 minutes or so, stuff starts to ease and there's a surrender to the position. It's said that our hips are very linked with moving forward in life and either fear or excitement about our future. Knees can be very linked with our ego and how we view ourselves. Just sitting here, considering maybe if you have a healthy self-worth, all these energies can become excessive or deficient. Keep relaxing. Let go of the buttocks and the back of your front leg. And then just with a few more breaths, really nice and slowly. Take these movements slowly because they are unusual positions to put the knee and the hip joint in. Let's gently come out, maybe leaning quite away to your right, and then bringing the leg forward nice and slowly. No harsh movements, and just noticing how that feels through both of those joints. I would say real slow movements for that coming out, more than probably certain other poses. And then resting back and really tuning into whatever you feel. If there feels like quite sort of a nourishing feeling around these joints now, and watching the sensations just gently fade. We're stretching areas of our body that don't normally ever get a stretch in that direction. Allowing certain muscles that are always tense and tight to relax, and then the opposite. Those that never get a stretch to actually feel it. So when you're ready, let's have another little hug. We're going to come into heart bench. So you're going to need a couple of blocks. Just have a moment here, just enjoy this nice little kind of rock in between poses. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up, grabbing your 2 blocks, one long ways along the spine, and the other one just to rest the head on. Take your time as you lower yourself back onto here, the long block behind the heart. Just have a play with where you want it today. I often find that I have it in probably a slightly different position each time. You just got to get to a point where it's tolerable to rest on it, and then it definitely eases over the time here. Support your head. And then just let your legs relax, soften into the lower back. There's not too much of a curve here. And as you breathe, you're going to feel that pressure against the block through the back of your body. And sometimes that's the exact spot, sort of just between the shoulder blades or slightly lower down, that we can hold a lot of tension, a lot of emotional stuff as well. We think of our heart center as a spinning disc or a spinning ball of energy, but with a vortex of energy allowing it through the back into the body and then out through the front of the body. So our ability here is linked with how we can receive love, whether we easily can accept love from other people or we find that emotionally challenging, and our capacity to give love as well. Extend love out through the front of the heart. Some people can easily give love but find it very difficult to receive, and vice versa. So just gentle breaths. And as we hold this pose, everything starts to get a bit more comfortable. Maybe tilt the chin in and lengthen the neck. And just release that little bit of tension that's always held there. Anyone that you can think of that just needs some healing or some love, it's nice to use this pose to just send some healing and loving thoughts their way. Bring them into your mind. Just observe your breath, nice, steady, long breaths. How do you feel? So we'll take a couple of more breaths here. And being conscious of how the breath moves. And then when you're ready, lift your head, look to your toes, and then just gently lift the body. Let's move our blocks to the side. And then coming down, still trying to retain the feeling and the memory of that pose. And feeling the after effects now. If you notice how your body is talking to you, what's the inner narrative going on at the moment? Notice if your body welcomes it and it feels good and it needed a certain stretch. And then we're going to hug knees in. Last pose is waterfall, so a nice gentle one to end with. If you've got a place where you can swing your legs up against a wall or a cabinet or something, that's always really lovely. But if not, I like to take a little cushion and pop it under the buttocks just to create a nice little wedge and lift. So we're going to take 5 minutes here and really allow the body to just drain in the opposite direction all the fluids that the heart has to normally pump all the way down to the feet and up again. Let's give the heart a rest. If your eyes are closed here, just focus on your third eye, Ajna chakra, and relax. If you want to put a blanket over the top of your feet and let it fall down exactly like a waterfall, then you can. Keep the feet warm. Gentle bend in the knee if that's more comfortable. Allow your arms to be relaxed, maybe taking them slightly further from the body. And you can gently become aware of all the parts of the body that move as you breathe. Taking the breath to the belly. the lifting of your chest. Maybe you can feel your back against your mat as you breathe as well. Just enjoying this pose. So nourishing, so calming for your nervous system. Relaxing for your heart. Notice what you're thinking right now. What's the internal dialogue? Stay with the present moment, the breath and your body. And we'll gently now just take a breath, lower the feet down. And just pulling the cushion away. Find neutral pose for a moment and just feel whatever you feel. As we lie here, we're just going to do Ujjayi breath, just for a few breaths. It's not something I normally do, but it actually is such a lovely breath, and to come into a lying position with it. So if you can tilt your chin down a little, lengthen through the neck. And Ujjayi breath is a noisy breath. It sounds like a snore or Darth Vader, where we constrict the windpipes. So you may be able to hear as I do this here now. So let's just do a few Ujjayi, not too many. Lovely heating effect on our throat. Feels like you're breathing through your throat rather than your nose. A lovely, long, deep, noisy breath. Maybe just do one more yourself. And then we'll come into relaxation. So if you want to remain lying down, please pull a blanket over you. And if you want to come to seated again, perhaps a small blanket around your shoulders. Allow yourself to get comfortable. The temperatures are definitely a little cool at the moment. So something around your shoulders or over you is probably quite welcome. Let's see what guidance perhaps we are given today. So one card has just sort of popped out, become this one's wanted to be read. It says, Crystal, have faith and hope because there is something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see yet. The seeds that you have planted are beginning to sprout results. You may not even be aware of these results. However, since they are in their infancy, now it is more important than ever to stay positive and to hold a clear vision of your desire and intention. Avoid skeptics or those with negative mindsets. Daily action, even if it only consists of baby steps towards the fruition of your dream, is essential. A phone call, a letter, or reading relevant material will keep the energy of your manifestation at a high level. Every day, positively affirm that you have already received or achieved or exceeded your dream. And most important, ask the angelic assistance every step of the way. So a nice little card about faith with whatever we're hoping to encourage into our lives. Have a little few moments just to hold a vision, perhaps. Very gently, bring your awareness back. And just take a few breaths. Notice where maybe you drifted off to. And beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Gently coming back into your day. If you're lying down, perhaps hug the knees in and have a little rock. Enjoy the breath, still being present. And then when you're ready, just rolling up to seated. Take a moment just to settle and again ground your roots into Mother Earth. Just a simple thought of roots extending down. That's all that's needed. And then draw the hands to your heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.